welcome here to Bennett Field, week 5 of Super League Baseball. My name is Fraser Fife. Good to be back in the broadcast booth with my co-caller Rob Ushy. Rob, battle of two teams, both sitting at 2-2, the Carp versus the JSR Plumbing Wasps, and we should be in for a fantastic game here tonight.
Absolutely. Both teams 2-2. Carp started 0-2. They've won their last two. So for the Wasps, have kicked the ball around a little bit, cost themselves some games. They do have a better hitting lineup, but the Carp is the team that's playing hotter baseball at the moment.
Yeah, currently, as I mentioned, with both these teams sitting on 2-2, the Carp holding a slight advantage due to run differential. They're sitting at +2, the Wasps sitting at -4. Of course, we had the game to start with the Crushers and the Clippers, that leading to the first tie in Super League history, but that game finishing 3-3 at the end of everything. So ultimately, potential for these two teams to make some inroads into the middle part of the season.
Certainly been an exciting night. We had a great game, lots of runs early, then great pitching towards the end of the game for the 6 o'clock game tonight. We ended up in the draw. We had international rules for the extra innings, and then we just ran out of time and had to have a sit there. Expect another good game tonight with both these teams playing their way to the top of the ladder, both 2-2, one looking to go 3-2.
Yeah, well, it's going to be an interesting battle between these two teams, as you mentioned. One just struggling a little bit, the other riding high at the moment. Just as we run through these lineups as we're almost ready to go, starting off will be Jackson Brebner-Russ. To start it off for the Wasps, as he's going at the moment against Ryan Duncan, who will be leading it off. And once we get through these pitches, we'll also run you through the rest of this lineup as we are ready to go. And the first pitch is going to be a strike for Brebner-Russ. So Ryan Duncan will be leading it off at centre field. Nathan van der Linden in the 2-hole will be playing shortstop, as second pitch will also be in for a strike. Curtis Mead at second base, he'll be in the 3-hole. Angus Rozier will be designated hitting tonight in the 4-hole. Wilson Lee at 5, who will be playing first base, as the 0-2 count will miss the zone for the first ball tonight. Mason Clavel will be behind the plate at catcher. Blake Farr in right field. Liam Ball at 7 at third base. Ben Keeping in left. And Josh Lapiana will be the pitcher, as the first batter in Duncan will go down looking. And Brebner-Russ with another strikeout to add to his impressive tally.
Yeah, Brebner-Russ getting the start tonight. He's been the closer the last couple of weeks, but with the Wasps falling the last couple, he hasn't had an opportunity to pitch. Got to get some innings there as the bite season right around the corner, and this is a good opportunity for him to get himself a little rust off his shoulder.
And Nathan van der Linden now stepping in, and we use this opportunity to also set up the Wasps defensively after this next pitch, as they've made some changes, of course, with the mid-season draft which came into effect, so some new faces to look around. Infield will be Steph Welsh at third base, Mitch Lightbody at shortstop, as we wait for this 1-1 pitch, and that one is going to be fouled off by van der Linden. At second base will be James Bell. Austin Gallagher will be at first base, and Tom McGarry behind home plate, with the outfield on the 1-2 pitch to follow. And another swing and a miss. So van der Linden goes down. Second strikeout for Jackson Brebner-Russ. So he is looking quite solid here to start this game, but it will be Curtis Mead, who I was just mentioning to Rob before this game, currently hitting a casual .714.
Yeah, coming back out of the Phillies organization. He missed the first week of the season of the Super League for the Carp, but could say he's been on fire since then. Takes the pitch low.
So just to continue the defensive alignment for the JSR Plumbing Wasps, Justin Woods in at left field, Taylor Travis in center, and Sachiro Suzuki will be playing in right field tonight. So some changes for both these teams with that draft, as I mentioned. There's some quality talent coming into this Super League teams, and maybe a twist of fortune as these players get acclimatized and really start showing their skills.
It's been an interesting aspect. We did have the mid-season draft of the Super League. Each team got one of their marquee players back from the year. Boston Louise will be joining the Wasp, and Josh Lapiana, will be starting pitcher for the Carp, will be joining them. Also, the Carp added Patrick Inglis, and the Wasp added another import out of East Torrance, Justin Woods, who takes over in left field, which has been a sore spot for them the first couple weeks. They've cost some runs out there in some games, so they needed to find another outfielder.
Currently a 3-1 count on Mead, and he hits this shot hard towards left. Is the wind going to play a factor? Who knows? Warning track, is it over the fence? It's going to bounce off. Mead's going to take the extra base at the very least, so he'll end up at second base, but that was off the wall and a powerful shot to left to get this game started off right.
Yeah, the wind carried that one. I saw it a little bit in the first game too. A little bit carnage happened in left field. A few balls went up and just didn't quite get it out. Wind is blowing in from right to left. No surprise to anyone who's been down to West Beach that knows that the wind plays a little bit of a tantrum at night here. It is a little bit cooler. It's only about 15 degrees Celsius, about 56, 57 Fahrenheit for our American listeners. So it's a little cooler tonight, but that one was, Mead got a charge of that one, and that 714 average is only going up.
Well, Angus Rozier, who is the second hottest hitter on this Carp lineup, just hitting 400, so he is second. You got Curtis Mead. That shows how far ahead he is in relation to batting statistics, at least with average, but Rozier not far behind him, so a good opportunity to potentially get the Carp's first run across the board. As a swing and a miss for Rozier, but for Brebner Russ, over the course of 3 appearances so far in the Super League, pitched 4 innings, 4 strikeouts, yet to surrender a run. So potentially, of course, commentators' curse coming into effect, but so far he's done a very good job for the JSR Plumbing Wasps. And there is another hard hit ball through the 5.5 hole. Mead's going to take the extra base, just circle around. The throw's going to come in. He's going to get in safely. Rozier's going to take the extra base. He'll end up at second, and the Carp, as quick as anything, have their first run across the board here in the top of the first.
Carp pick off where they've left off the last couple of weeks. Scoring runs early, doing it as a team. Curtis Mead getting on base, Angus Rozier driving them in. Certainly, the Bite fans are going to be happy to hear that if that's part of the formula they have going all year with those two going hot. And now we got Wilson Lee coming up. He had a good week last week, tough first couple weeks, but he got himself right last week and had a good start to the SABL season as well for his Sturt Saints.
Yeah, killer combo right now for these Carp in the way they've been hitting, and just very, very solid. So we'll see if the rest of the lineup can continue to push, as now Rozier taking the place of Curtis Mead at second base. It's currently Brebner Russ 0-1 count at the moment.
Brebner Ross mentioned before, he hasn't had much opportunity to pitch this year, but when he was over in Czech Republic this year, he was with the Larka Praha. He did do both. He was a batter, but he was 6-4, 93 innings, 2.8 ERA. So certainly comfortable on the mound, and he'll be a main piece out of the Bite bullpen this upcoming season as well.
Yeah, we're going to get a good look at both the Adelaide Bite and the Super League All-Stars, of course, this Saturday as well, with that game coming up. So if you want to get an early sneak peek at what the Bite will be offering this season, come on down to the ballpark.
It's always a good game. The imports, and a lot of them are in the Super League. There's a lot of the players around here that they always want to take it to the bite of the can in that All-Star game every year. And this will be another opportunity. First pitch, I believe, is about 7:20 this upcoming Saturday down at Bennett Field here. So certainly need to see as many fans out to watch great quality baseball.
Oh, and a very, very nice breaking pitch on Wilson Lee, as Brebner Russ does strike out the side, but not before surrendering a run, thanks to Angus Rozier driving in Curtis Mead. So we head to the bottom of the second with the Carp up 1-0. But we get another look at the replay thanks to Black Chrome, and Angus Rozier is seeing the ball quite well at the moment, and that's why they've got him in the 4-hole.
Yeah, it's been a formula they've used the last few weeks. Curtis Mead getting on, Angus Rozier driving him in, then Wilson Lee driving in Angus Rozier. It's been a nice little way to get their hot streak going. Now we're going to see one of the newcomers to the Carp on the mound, Josh LaPiana. He'll be one of the imports of the SABL this year. He's with the Adelaide Angels this year. Been basically a pitcher only back in college when he was with the Utes of Utah, the Pac-12, left-handed pitcher, left-handed hitter, but he's hitting .556 right now in the SABL. His ERA isn't quite where he wants it currently, but he's got good fastball, changeup, and curveball, which I'm sure his 8.82 will come down. He had a couple good years, 2 and 4, with an ERA of 7.5 and 3 and 6 in a very tough Pac-12 conference.
So we'll use this opportunity also to set up the Wasps lineup. Leading off will be Mitch Lightbody. Behind him, Tom McGarry and Austin Gallagher. Steph Welsh will be in the 4-hole. Tyrone Hambley at 5. Justin Woods at 6. James Bell at 7. Sachiro Suzuki at 8. And Taylor Travis will be rounding it out. So Travis shifting down the lineup. Does have that speed that can really set up the lineup, but he has been scuffling a bit with his batting average. So just shift him down, get some different looks in the lineup and see what they're able to accomplish.
Certainly a little slow start for Taylor Travis here in the Super League and in the SABL. Bats come alive a little bit in the last couple of weeks for his local club, West Torrens. But the other option that it looks like maybe Coach Chenoweth has gone with is where you're playing your second leadoff hitter in the 9-hole, as opposed to it being your pitcher or your worst hitter. You put someone else there with speed who can get on base, turns it over for the top of the order.
Yeah, just the way that lineups have been constructed over the years, it usually was one of the weaker hitters as you went further down the lineup. But of course, now you think more the 8-hole is where you'd put your weakest hitter, and then, as you said, 9 becomes the second leadoff. So, as baseball talents adapt, so does the strategy, which makes baseball one of those interesting sports, and how the translation between the major leagues, where you see a lot of the analysis come into effect, and how it trickles down into local leagues.
Absolutely. Lapiana ahead 1 and 2. Changeup left a little bit high, 2 and 2. Shown why he was one of the pickups in the mid-season draft. He's coming in throwing strikes so far and got Lightbody swinging and missing. There's another one in the dirt. Just got enough of it to foul it off to stay alive.
And just enough there to stay alive, and ultimately heading through this lineup. I mean, you've got McGarry behind him in the on-deck circle. He's been hitting quite well so far in this Super League season, so it's going to be a difficult assignment for Lapiana to really try and traverse his way through this lineup, but he only has to worry about getting those 6 out or those 40 pitches. As a hit out towards right centre, looks like it's going to be taken quite comfortably, as there's about 3 different players who wanted it, but ultimately will be taken by the right fielder for the first out. So Far will get it, as it will now bring up McGarry, and what he's able to do, as I mentioned, hitting quite well over the course of this season, and we'll look to continue from the 2-hole.
Yeah, he started off fairly hot here in the Super League. Forced his coach to move him out of the 7-8 spot where he was, put him up in the top of the order, hitting 2 spot. Last week, reward with a solo home run deep to left field, almost near the Benefield scoreboard.
So setting up the Carp defensively from third to first, we have Liam Bull, Nathan Van der Linden, Curtis Mead. As a swing and a miss by McGarry, and Wilson Lee at first base. Behind the plate, Mason Clavel. Left to right, Ben Keeping in left, Ryan Duncan in centre, and Blake Farr, who took that first out in right field. Currently 2-1 count for him at the moment.
See how Lapiana navigates his next 3 batters. As he's left-handed, they're all going to be left-handed. But with a chopper hit to second baseman, Curtis Mead up, makes the easy throw over to first for the second out of the inning. But his next 2 hitters, he's got Austin Gallagher and Steph Welch. Both quality power hitters, and both hit lefties very well.
Well, Gallagher at the moment hitting 300 over the Super League season. Has 2 doubles to work with.
Product out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This past season he was with the Mainz Athletics in Germany. Hit .455 and 88 at-bats with 12 home runs and 35 RBIs. Definitely a power option that Lapiana might want to be a little careful with.
Yeah, he's been getting on base at a .417 clip, so while he hasn't necessarily shown the power, at least in relation stats-wise, we've definitely seen it. The ball go a couple of times go foul in what would have definitely been home runs here at this ballpark, but he has been getting on base at a good clip as well, so something to keep in mind. He has been very disciplined in the way that he's approached his at-bats. Currently at the moment working with a 2-0 count. And a bouncing ball, going to be interesting who takes it. Vandelinden will take it, double pump, throw over, will just be in time on a bang-bang play at first, and that will retire the side. So Lapiana gets through the first inning unscathed as we head to the top of the second with the Carp leading the JSR Plumbing Wasps 1-0. You're watching Super League. We'll be back after the break.
Black Chrome is the official partner of Super League Baseball Adelaide. Head to the Black Chrome website to view the new range of custom baseball apparel and see why so many teams are choosing to partner with Black Chrome.
She got two little horns and they give me a little bit.
Welcome back to the ballpark. Carp leading the Wasps 1-0. Fred Zafif and Rob Ushie here to take you through week 5 of the Super League. As we mentioned, the first game ending in a tie. We're hoping we get a result here in this one, but ties are definitely a part of Super League. And for right now, the Carp, they want to force the issue. Got to run across the board early, and heading into the latter half of this lineup, Mason Clavel, Blake Farr and Liam Bull up to bat. So we'll have to see if the bottom half of this order can get some production going.
Brebner Russ in for a second inning of work here. Gave up a big double off the fence to Curtis Mead and then a hard hit single for Angus Roser in the first inning. But he did strike out the side. So he's certainly starting to get himself in form. He does have the bottom of the order coming up. But he's going to have to try to keep his team in it here because he doesn't want to fall behind 2 or 3-0. As the Carp have shown they've been one of the stronger teams the last number of weeks.
Yeah, of course, all the sort of attention has been on the Denmark Crushers and what they've been able to do so far this season and getting off to a hot start. But yeah, there are teams behind them as well. There's 4 teams in the comp that we have to worry about, and the Carp are definitely making their claim over the course of this season. And of course, after this week, still have half a season to go as Clavel's going to hit one nice and strong, but foul down the left field line.
Yeah, one of the aspects of the Super League is with 4 teams, the way the playoff structure works. This is the midway point. This is the 5th week. We have another 5 weeks after this. That whoever finishes with the best record, there's the 0-2 pitch just outside. Whoever ends up with the best record will go straight into the grand final, and then the teams that finish 2nd and 3rd will have a 1-game playoff before that to see who wins to play in it. And the 4th team, the high fastball can't quite hold off for the first strikeout. And then, unfortunately, the 4th team doesn't even get a chance to sniff at the playoffs. They're just eliminated right off the bat.
Well, speaking of eliminated, so far Brebner Russ has eliminated 4 strikes, all been by a strikeout. And now with Blake Farr stepping in, who has again shifted down the lineup towards the start of the season. We saw him batting in the 2-hole and has now shifted down to 6. So 7 in this lineup as he gets a nice little flare into left field. Going to drop in front of Woods out and left, and he'll take first base for the Carp to add another hit to their tally as they now have a runner on for Ben Keep.
Farr continues hot hitting, line drive into left center there. Easy single. He was one of the highway players of the week a couple weeks ago for his offensive production for the Carp. And he just keeps it going here. Looking for Liam Bull. This is the 2nd start. He started in the first week. He hasn't had a start since then. A couple at bats here and there. But see if he can move him over or drive him in.
So first pitch by Brebner Ross going to be down low, but now he does have to work from the stretch. Hasn't had to worry about it too much so far in this game. We'll see with Blake Farr. Hasn't necessarily been a stolen base threat, but he does have some wheels to work with, so he's definitely not afraid to take the extra base when it's there.
Probably not the traditional straight steal, but you could look for a little hit and run. We have seen out of the Carp, they are the younger team. Out of all the 4 teams, they've put a little more pressure on the bases than some of the other clubs have. Ian Bull takes a fastball on the inside corner, 2-1, making sure Brebner Russ threw him a strike before he offered at anything.
Yeah, going to be important with that pitch count, just to work their way through this lineup. 2-1 from Brebner-Ross. A flare. It's going to get past the first baseman, Gallagher. It's going to roll into right field. File's going to take the extra base, almost losing his footing, but he'll get in and slide quite comfortably at third. And it ends up, they just keep on rolling, keeping. Ends up at first base. Runners at the corners now with one out.
A great job from the bottom of the order from the Carp. This is what you need them to do. Set the table for the top of the order. Ben Keeping is in the 9 spot tonight, but the last couple of weeks he has been at the top. So another one who's looking at possibly having a two leadoff guys hitting 9-1. Carp are definitely in a great position to start tacking on a couple of runs and get ahead of this Wasp team that's struggling in the last couple of weeks.
So now Ben Keeping, apologies, Liam Bull with that single. So now Keeping will step in, and first pitch is going to be a ball, 1-0 count.
Struggling to find the outside corner this inning. Thought he maybe would stick on the inside. He got a little bit of extra room on the inside corner the first time up. There's a good strike on that outside corner, even the count at 1.
Number 9 hitter here, Ryan Duncan behind him in the on-deck circle, then Nathan van der Linden. Double play would be just so nice for the Wasps here if they just want to keep this game from getting out of hand early, and a nice strike by Brebner-Ross there. You can see him snatching at that pitch. He wants to get this strikeout. He's already got 4 of them. Can he add another one?
Good quality slider there. Cut the outside corner. Probably still a little disappointed from the little flare single he gave up last time. And follows it up with even a better slider for his 5th strikeout of the night.
Just keeps on adding on. At the moment, that's the only way that the Carp have got out. So 5 strikeouts according to our box scores. The lineup is going to turn back over to Ryan Duncan, who, surprise, surprise, struck out in his first at-bat. So still runners at the corners here for the Carp. They do hold a 1-run lead here in the top of the second. Brebner-Ross, as you mentioned, just giving up that little flare. Didn't miss by a whole lot, but again, just those little hits here and there can just change the complexion of an inning, and right now the Carp threatening here early. There's another ball that is going to go foul over the left field bleachers.
Brebner-Ross showing a little, maybe a little bit of that rust that he hasn't pitched in the last couple of weeks. Giving up 4 hits, one big double off the fence, but everything else has been kind of just easy singles that, unfortunately for him, one was with a man on base, put him behind. But he's been filling up the strike zone as his 5 strikeouts are showing.
And bouncing ball towards short. Lightbody's going to pick it up, underhand toss to second, and that will be the final out. So the Carp can't get a run across home plate, but they still do hold the lead as we head to the second. But important inning there for Jackson Brebner-Ross, as that's his 2 innings done. So we'll see a new pitcher for the Wasps as they rotate around, but they'll look to try and get the rest of their lineup moving.
Important for Brebner-Ross to get out of that inning for himself. Also important for his team. He didn't want to give up multiple runs. The inning started off with runners on the corners with an out. Opportunity that there could be some potential for disaster.
Yeah, well, it will be Welsh, Hambley, and Woods due up for the Wasps. So Steph Welsh at the moment has been struggling at the moment. He's been hitting 100 over this Super League season. We know he's capable of a lot more. Of course, a veteran of the South Australian baseball scene, but has not quite been able to get it going in the middle of the order. So there's still plenty of baseball yet to play in the Super League season, but we are at that halfway point. You can't really use early season jitters as an excuse anymore. At some point, the bat's got to get moving, and for him, just been struggling.
Yeah, he's a little bit known as a slow starter around the ABL. A couple of years, had the year off last year for family, but the years before, it was always a series or so before the Sheriff got going. But in a short league like the Super League, we're halfway. You can't allow yourself to fall behind too much. Otherwise, your average isn't gonna look how you want it at the end of the year. And some of these players are starting to show a little more fire in those eyes as we get going here.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need it tonight because it is freezing. I should have chosen a better week to come back. One that was a little bit warmer, I think, would have been nice. But We'll see what Steph Welsh can do to get it started. As the first pitch is going to be out of the zone, 1-0 count.
Yeah, we do have a Wojtek call to the bullpen here. LaPiana threw 1 inning for the Carp for his debut with them. Turned it over to a product of Northern Districts, Todd Marshall.
Well, a hard hit ball for Welsh in the power rally in right centre. It is going to be taken, though, out by the centre fielder for the first out. So Welsh, who was getting on base at a 308 clip, will head back to the dugout for the first out. And again, solid contact for him, trying to be aggressive early in the count, which he's definitely known as someone who has good discipline and is usually willing to wait for his pitch, just changing up an approach there.
Yeah, you can see he's looking to change something up. He's trying to get himself going. And at the same time, the pitcher right now, for a left-handed hitter, they're going to have to really get into something. The ball's not going to travel too well to right center. The winds are, like you mentioned, it's a little cool down here, so the winds are keeping it fairly tight and gives the pitcher a little more room to play with.
Bones Hamley hitting .333 on the season. We've already seen a bomb from him so far, and he hit that one out to left field. It seems like all the hits have gone to left at this point, so it's definitely the favoured side. We'll see what he's able to do now with the 2-0 count.
Yeah, Todd. Marshall's second appearance in the Super League. He has 1 clean inning under his belt 2 weeks ago. Pitcher for the Northern Districts Reds. Lost a tight game on the weekend after upsetting Port in their first one. But a pitcher that some of the league, they want to make sure that they try to jump on, because he, as a rookie for the La Rochelle Admirals in the CBL a couple of years ago, he went 5-1 in 31 innings.
So far for Marshall, he has thrown 1 inning, hasn't given up any runs yet here in the Super League. So coming into a decent opportunity here with the lead, and is heading through the middle of this lineup. Full count, and Hamley works the walk. So the Wasps get their first base runner on at the moment, as the lineup is going to turn over.
And we have one of the new players that added through the mid-season draft, and he gets an opportunity to start right off the bat. Justin Woods, he's an import for East Torrance. He's from Waynesville, North Carolina. Went to UNC Asheville. He's a former Bulldog of the Big South Conference, where he was a two-way player in college. He was a closer and an outfielder. Graduated in 2017, and this past season he was in the 2nd division in Germany. He played for the Storm of Hunstanton and the western part of Frankfurt, where he was 3-1 as a pitcher and hit .493. So you know he can handle the bat.
So 1-0 count for Woods, and a nice pitch there by Marshall. Catches the bottom of the zone, and at the moment, with the base runner on, so all it takes is just little hits here and there. Having some hits that have eyes and seeing eye singles, and Texas Leaguers, they can all work in getting hits here at the ballpark, so we'll see what they're able to do. That one's going to be popped foul of the right field side over the bleachers. So 1-2 count for Woods at the moment. Hambley on first base. Marshall looking to potentially get the strikeout here. Marshall getting his signs. He's got something he likes. There is that 1-2 pitch. It's going to be down low. Nice job by Marshall there to miss down low, because anything, as you mentioned, with Woods, with his caliber of hitting, anything up is probably going to get sailed over the fence.
As a pitcher, when you're ahead in the count 0-2, 1-2, as he was in that one there, you want to make sure it's a pitcher's pitch. 2-2, this is the one that you're probably going to want to throw something quality. There's a drive to center field. That wind's going to hold that one. Ryan Duncan's going to camp under that after about moving 10 feet to his right for the second out of the inning, and Hambley scampers back to first.
So with 2 out, it is going to be James Bell stepping in.
A couple of hard hit balls to center field, but when you look at where they end up being caught, there's actually no fear in those balls having any distance. Again, the wind is holding them up. The pitcher's doing exactly what he needs to do.
It favors the pitchers here tonight. So as you mentioned, that wind is going to keep that ball from going out, because we saw Curtis Mead almost got one over the fence, but he pretty much got all of that one, and even then it was knocked down. So it is going to take a well and true big hit to get it over the fence here tonight, which means the pitchers can be a little bit more aggressive with their pitch selection. And right now for Marshall, currently working with a 1-1 count.
Yeah, we'll have to see if the coaching staff from the Carp and JSR Plumbing Wasps here change their philosophy. So far, there's been a little bit more waiting for the hits. See if they start putting some runners in action, knowing another flare to center field. That one's pretty much right at Duncan. He doesn't even have to move and puts it away for the third out of the inning.
Well, with that, we head to the top of the third with the Carp still holding a 1-0 lead over the JSR Plumbing Wasps. We're going to take a break. You're watching the Super League, thanks to Spacequake Sports.
Their specialised knowledge, ability to deliver and professionalism are keys to our successful relationship. A friendly and experienced team.
She got 2 little horns and they give me a little bit.
Voitech is a proud South Australian telecommunications company providing landline, high-speed internet and mobile phone services for business. They promise 3 things. They'll save you money, they'll provide an abundance of functionality, and they will excel in local service. In summary, they just do it better. For more information, visit voitech.com.au. And speaking of Voitech pitching changes, we're not going to get much time to bring that one in, as that is going to be a lead-off hit for the Carp as they get it started here early on here in the top of the third.
Vander Linden wastes no time there, hits the first fastball he sees from the new pitcher, Matt Raby. Last week he had his first appearance of the Super League. He started for the Wasps. He threw two shutout innings, had 2 strikeouts, and had the players a little flustered. He'll admit himself he doesn't throw hard in the interview that he had when he was drafted at the Highway before the season, but he just gets outs.
Well, we're going to work pretty quickly again. Is the ball going to roll out? No, it's going to stay fair. So 2 consecutive hits thanks to some good fortune for the Carp. And Raby immediately behind the 8 ball here in the top of the third. So
perfect bunt by Curtis Mead for his second hit of the night. And that's where the Carp have excelled those last couple of weeks. They've decided to play a little more smaller baseball. They were looking for a sac bunt there, possible hit to go with it. Curtis Mead does have speed. And now they got the Wasps in trouble with the first 2 on and nobody out.
Yeah, well, now Angus Rozier, who's already driven in 1 RBI, has an opportunity with runners at first and second with none out. So an important opportunity here for the Carp to extend their lead. First pitch by Raby is going to be in for a strike. 0-1 count.
Got a high 60s fastball and a low 60s curveball and changeup. It's very deceptive pitches. Like I said, last week he had guys flustered, and there's another one of those big curveballs of his that just doesn't quite catch the top of the zone. Counts 1-1. But these are the pitchers that you have to wait. If you're a hitter, you got to sit back, you got to wait and try to drive it up the middle the other way, because otherwise you're just going to pop the ball straight in the air or hit into a double play on the ground.
So 1-1 count. Rozier's going to show bunt. It's going to be popped up and taken by McGarry. So first out, as the bunt didn't quite work out for the Carp the second time round. But that's the thing for Raby, just with that the low speed, but it's all about speed differential, and in this case that pitch being a bit high and tight on Rozier, just not able to get that bunt down, and from that 1 out for the Carp.
Yeah, back to the philosophy of his of just getting outs. That's, as a pitcher, that's what you want to do. Fastball a little bit up. Wilson Lee takes it for ball 1.
And Wilson Lee struck out first at bat. Again, run scoring opportunity for the Carp with Van der Linden at second and Mead at first. Slicing ball out to right field. Suzuki, has he got it? No, he doesn't get it. The runners are going to all advance a base. So fortunate there that the Carp didn't get a runner home, but now they've got the bases loaded with 1 out. That ball with the wind really slicing for Suzuki and just couldn't quite read it off the bat, and ball dropping underneath the glove for the hit.
Tough break for the pitcher. It was a line drive to the outfielder. Wind caught it, started moving it around a little bit. Scoring decision is a single, so now it's bases loaded, 1 out for the catcher Mason Clavel, who's got some power. Hit a home run this past week for the SABL. He'll be looking to at least drive a ball to the outfield to give his team a 2-0 lead.
Well, a good opportunity with Raby on the hill as well. As we mentioned, the wind really playing, sapping a lot of the power on the bats, already having that low speed to work with. I mean, unless you've got a lot of power in your arms, it is going to take a lot to get a pitch over that fence. So not really the potential for extra base hits here, but you know, that ball that just takes that drop or that slice as we saw then could potentially bring a couple of runs home.
Certainly Carp, with bases loaded, are looking for a big inning here. Crooked number. They have 7 hits on the board already. We're in the 3rd inning. There's another one. Takes a spin off the ground. Throw home. Catcher can't quite get it. And everyone's going to be safe all around. A ball off the end of the bat that off the first hop was foul and then shoots fair.
Let's have another look at the black chrome replay.
And then coming back, foul. Gallagher tries to get the out at home. Fortunately, McGarry couldn't quite hold on to the ball. And it's going to be 2-0. Bases are still loaded for one of the hotter hitters of the Super League, Blake Farr, who already has a base hit tonight.
Well, he could potentially have a lot more if he can make solid contact here in his 2nd at bat. As you mentioned, already has that single. So Raby right now, I'd call him probably a hard luck pitcher at the moment. He hasn't really given up any solid contact, but all the pitches have just not worked out in his favor. As a bit of an inside out pitch towards shortstop. It is going to go into left field. Runner at 3rd is tagging up, but the throw's strong enough to hold up all the runners. Important there as Mead thought about coming home, but decided better of it. We get another look on the replay, and Blake Farr, as you can see, inside out of that pitch, and the wind knocking it down did not have a lot of distance to work with.
Exactly right. Farr was hoping he had got enough of it there for at least the sac fly for Curtis Mead to scamper home. But Justin Woods, good arm, shallow ball, was able to bring it in. Now Rob getting ahead, 0-1 on the outside corner. Another little pop-up fly ball, ground ball here, and could be out of the inning with minimal damage done.
Well, a nice inside pitch there. Doesn't catch the zone. They're going to even it up at a 1-1 count, but at this point, you just feel like the Carp, they've got the momentum at the moment, but if the Wasps can get out of this inning, you feel it'll be a huge confidence booster if they can get through a bases loaded situation, only surrender 1 run.
Offensively is when you like to take the momentum, but you do have to do it defensively sometimes, and this is a big opportunity. And there's another flare over first baseman's head for Liam Bull for his 2nd hit of the night. Drives in another run. 3-0. Bases still loaded. Carper threatening to blow this one open.
Well, it just keeps working for the Carp. They're not exactly hitting it hard, but they're hitting it exactly where the fielders aren't positioned, and they just keep rolling station to station. So they now make it a 3-0 game here in the top of the 3rd.
Hardest hit balls are probably the outs tonight, but so far it's working for them this inning.
Now Ben Keeping steps in. He's going to try and keep that momentum rolling. At the moment, Wilson Lee's now at 3rd, Mason Clavel at 2nd, and Liam Bull at 1st. Right on that one, but just not enough. Evens it up at a 1-1 count.
Yeah, you know a hitter's right on a pitcher's pitch when it falls straight back. Keeping's probably wishing he had that one back, but he's got a couple more here. He's going to be looking to do something good inside curveball there to get ahead 1-2.
We'll see if maybe he can find that put-away pitch. He's been able to get to 2 strikes a few times. Ooh, and a close one on the inside. Doesn't get the call, though. Evens it up at a 2-2 count. Great discipline there from Keeping, but just means Raby going to have to try and find it one more time. And doesn't quite there as it's well inside. Full count, bases loaded, 2 out. Potential for a lot of damage to be done here.
Carp going to have all their runners going on this one. Something in the gap could score all 3.
Well, payoff pitch, bouncing ball, going to go foul. So we'll stay alive for at least one more pitch in the at-bat. But not just a crucial moment for the Carp, but for the Wasps as well. They're already 3 runs down. They've only had 1 base runner on. They need to get something going momentum-wise because it is all with the Carp at the moment, and this pitch could potentially do it. And a hard hit ball out towards left field. Ranging back is Woods, and he'll take it for the 3rd out. So some solid contact made by Keeping, but the ball definitely favouring the pitchers so far in this ball game. But the Carp have managed to pull out to a 3-0 lead after some solid hitting has netted them that. And now the Wasps are going to have to try and respond here as they head to the bottom half of their lineup.
Going to be time the Wasps to start putting a little pressure on themselves and doing a little bit more. Don't have a hit for the first 2 innings. Get to the bottom of the order, so second time through coming up. We do have another pitching change coming up here, but when you've lost 2 games in a row, you're down 3-0 here. You got to find a way to get a little bit of momentum back, get 1 run on the board, scratch something out, get a bunch of infield singles maybe like the Carp have been doing tonight.
It's easier said than done. Some of those bunts, they had no business being anywhere near foul territory, and somehow they made their way back in. So some good fortune is sometimes all you need, and right now it seems to all be with the Carp, but still plenty of baseball to play here in week 5 of the competition. So we'll have to see with Sachiro Suzuki, Taylor Travis, and then lineup turning back over to Mitch Lightbody. So 8-9-1 due up for the JSR Plumbing Wasps, and some new blood coming into this lineup as well with Suzuki, so we'll see if he's able to get him started off right.
Yeah, Wojtek called a bullpen for the Carp. It'll be the 3rd pitcher they've used in 3 innings. It's going to be the left-hander out of Golden Grove, Tom Norley. Seen him a couple times here in the Super League. Trouble that he's had a little bit is throwing strikes. He's got the outs he's gotten have been not hard hit, lazy fly balls, little ground balls, but he has walked a few batters and given up a run or 2.
Yeah, 3 appearances, 2.7 ERA over 3 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks. And as you mentioned, not a whole lot of damage has been done against him, but just finding that strike zone is going to be important here. So we'll see what he's able to do here in the bottom of the 3rd as Suzuki is ready to go.
Yeah, it's Cicero's first start in the Super League. He's out in right field tonight. We have seen him pinch hit a couple times, and he's hit a few balls hard. One right back at the pitcher that nearly took pitcher's glove off a couple weeks ago. The big swing and miss.
Yeah, big swing there.
He definitely knows how to swing it.
Well, I think he's definitely aiming for the scoreboard, but missed on that one, 0-1 count. So Clavel giving Norley the sign, and the nice breaking pitch going to be popped up towards the infield as Vanderlinden will take that one quite comfortably for the 1st out. So Suzuki aggressive early on, but doesn't quite pay dividends here to start the inning.
A little different strategy the Carp have used this week, having 1 pitcher throw each inning. Batter's going to completely see a different arm. But it is also with these past couple weeks in the SABL, their doubleheader weeks. Pitchers do have to pitch for their local club, and so some of them just can't go multiple innings. We see a bunt attempt there from Travis, trying to get himself on. We've seen that a couple times out of him the last few weeks. He hasn't been able to get one down yet, but he certainly does have the speed. As he did hit up a couple triples in in local action 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, so far in Super League action, currently sitting at a .083 average with a .83 slugging and a .83 on base. So been trying to get that bat going at least here, but as you said, has shown success in the local leagues, just hasn't exactly translated here to this Super League competition, so hence why he's been put down in the batting order in the hope that that may be able to switch up his approach and get that bat warm.
See a couple different pitches at the bottom of the order as you do at top, more fastballs, which hopefully is what he's looking for to try to turn over. The change-up low and away, good 0-2 pitch in the dirt. Wasn't really one that if Travers swung at, he was going to be able to do any damage with. So from the pitcher's point, that's what you want to do. But as a hitter, you got to be responsible enough not to swing at that and be able to follow something off that's close and get something you can handle.
Well, 1-2 count. One out, bases clear for the Wasps. Hard hit ball towards the first baseman. Gonna end up taking a bit of a tumble, but ultimately Travis, speed down the line, wins the day. So a bit of a hard luck loss there for the Carp. Probably that they deserve it with all the good luck that they've had, but the Wasps get a base runner on. Let's get another look at the replay here.
Hard hit ball right down the line. Great play by Wilson Lee to snag it, take a little bit of a tumble, but if that ball gets by him, that's an easy double with Travers speed, possibly a triple.
Well, Travis gets on, and as you can see with Norley, going to have to pay attention at first because Travis definitely has speed, as we saw down that first baseline. And Mitch Lightbody now stepping up, one of the hotter hitters for the Wasps.
Tries to bunt one foul there. A little bit odd decision with one out already. Probably looking for a bunt base hit. Maybe the weather conditions playing a little bit into it. Let's see if the Wasps decide to play a little hit and run here. Travers has great speed and Lightbody handles the bat very well.
Norley being that lefty, getting a good look at first base, and now the pitch from the stretch going to be popped up as Lee will take a look at it, but it will go well foul almost to the batting cages in right. So with the top half of this lineup going again, there's Lightbody and Tom McGarry, Austin Gallagher. Potential for them here as they've all been able to make contact, have not been able to get the base hit yet, but have made some solid contact as that one is going to be hit out towards right field. As far ranging underneath it, and he'll take it, and Travis will end up back at first base. So 2 out for the JSR Plumbing Wasps as now Tom McGarry stepping back in after a 4-3 ground out in his last at bat.
Wasps are going to be looking for a little 2-out magic here. They do have the base runner they need, but still looking for that first run of the night, trying to just open the door to hopefully kick something down and break it open.
All it takes is something to go there, but lefty-lefty matchup at the moment.
Big lead by Travers.
Well, as you mentioned, Rob, I mean, teams have been a little bit more aggressive in relation to hit and runs. We've seen a couple of straight steal attempts, but I feel like if you're going to do it on any night, tonight is the night. Offense is pretty much suppressed at this point, and it's going to take a lot of small ball to get these guys home. So, you know, if players have speed on their team, they've got to use it.
We've seen the small ball the Carp have done, and those have been bunts and swinging bunts. Got themselves. There goes Travers. Squares around the throw from Clavel down to second, and he's safe. Stolen base for Taylor Travis. Now a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, got a really good lead there and was just biding his time. We saw he's just inching out further and further, and a strong throw by Clavel and on the money, but Travis just too quick. So 2-0 count, 2 out, runner at second. Works it to a 3-0 count now, so heading towards the middle part of this lineup in Gallagher, Welsh and Hambley. See if McGarry's going to be aggressive. There's that 3-0 and does catch the zone for a strike. Important pitch there by Norley. See Travis taking a nice little lead there at second. And there is that fourth ball. So McGarry works the walk, gets the second base runner on for the Wasps here in the bottom of the third, as will now be up to Austin Gallagher. We've spoken about how much power he's had and how he's been able to get on base at a good rate. Well, ultimately, this is the opportunity he needs to capitalize on here, 3 runs down. Lefty-lefty matchup yet again, hence why Norley's come in, but we'll see what they're able to do.
Yeah, with that walk, Norley starting to play with a little bit of fire with Gallagher and Welch coming up here. Good swing, foul ball, strike 1. He does have 2 outs, so he does have the opportunity to get out of the inning here with a couple good pitches. But with the power of these next 2 hitters, he has a chance to find himself down if he's not careful.
Yeah, while they do hold a 3-run lead at the moment, all it takes is one good swing of the bat to change the complexion of this game. Or a pitch like that. And Travis is going to have a quick look and then head back to second. So also important with runners on base that nothing goes to the backstop. Great stop by Clavel there.
It's a great job of Mason Clavel on getting a pitch that he really had no business probably even knocking down. But he was able to corral it, glove it, keep both base runners at their current position.
Even count, and Norley going to step off. Just needs to regather and make sure he throws a quality pitch here. Finally it comes. Gallagher pops it up. Out towards right field. Drifting towards short, actually. And Van der Linden will take this one, as the wind definitely carried that one pretty far, but it will be the 3rd out as we head to the top of the 4th, with the Carp still corralling a 3-0 lead over the JSR Plumbing Wasps. We're going to head to a break. You're watching the Super League.
Specialised knowledge, ability to deliver, and professionalism are keys to our successful relationship. A friendly and experienced team.
She got 2 little horns and they give me a little bit.
Black Chrome is the Super League Baseball Adelaide's official apparel provider and the most reliable baseball supplier in Australia. Visit Black Chrome online and experience the exceptional quality, service and reliability for yourself. blackchrome.com.au. Fraser Fife and Rob Ushy here for week 5 of Super League, and we have a Wojtek pitching change called to the bullpen for Matty Watkins.
It'll be Watkins' 4th appearance here in the Super League. Been pretty lights out except for one appearance, which he was a little fatigued from the weekend. Didn't have control of his curveball. He's kind of known for that big curveball. Starts him off with a changeup there to get ahead 0-1 on the outside corner. Quality fastball, but he's known for that big curveball of his that he's able to drop in on any batter at any count. There's the curveball, fouled straight off the mask of the catcher, back to the screen. Get ahead 0-2.
So 0-2 count for Watkins. Got some pitches to work with. And there is that big breaking pitch you were talking about. Doesn't catch the zone though. Gets the first ball of the at-bat.
We're back at the top of the order here. We do have a pinch hitter in for Ryan Duncan, who is in the bullpen. He will be the next pitcher out for the Carp. It's a good hang there. Even the count at 2-2.
So 2-2 count, some good discipline being shown. As you said, we've been going through the top half of the order Nathan van der Linden, Curtis Mead, not far behind. A bit of a reaching shot that will go to the first baseman, but will ultimately roll foul.
I believe this is pinch hitter. I believe this is Patty Inglis, one of the new added additions that the Carp had, which means he'd probably be taking over in center fielder. Hard hit ball to third. Welch up, easy throw over to first. Sheriff's done it 1,000 times at least for the first out of the inning.
Just casually from third to first for the first out. Now, looks like we are going to have van der Linden come in. So far for him, currently has the single to right and a strikeout, so 1 for 2.
Fastball high, Watkins 1-0. Van der Linden got the inning started last inning with a infield single. Kind of the key that the Carp have used tonight to get their inning going, but with a big inning, got them a couple runs. He scored the first one last inning.
Well, all it takes is one single hit to get them started, and they really capitalized on that because it started out with van der Linden, then Mead got on base, Wilson Lee, Mason Clavel. It just ended up continuing as we
talked earlier tonight about Curtis Mead's batting average at 714.
He just keeps adding to it.
He's only made it go up tonight, Dean, 2 for 2. He's won the highway player of the game last week. He's looking maybe for another one. Fouls that one off into the hitting cages here to our right. Stay alive, 0-2. Matty Watkins will be looking for a quality pitch, probably something in the dirt, trying to get Mead to chase here.
Yeah, so far slugging 857, and he could potentially add another one here. Suzuki, though, too quick in right field, and he'll grab that liner for the third out. So Mead can't quite continue to add to that high batting average, but a quick 1, 2, 3 inning for the Wasps, exactly what they need as we head to the bottom of the fourth. And really right now, again, they've only been able to get one hit, do have a couple of base runners, but just been scattered hits here and there, haven't quite been able to consistently put together base runners and move station to station like the Carp have done.
Yeah, Carp have been gifted a couple lucky hits, we'll call them, just balls that have started foul and then shot fair, or a bunt that looked like it was going to go foul but just hung on the line long enough, but they took advantage of those. Able to get a couple singles into the outfield as well. Where the Wasps have been hitting everything straight up in the air, and the wind's been playing havoc with it. Everything's been hanging for the outfielders and the infielders to get under, and there hasn't really been too much cause for concern for the pitches.
Yeah, with some of those Carp hits, you feel like voodoo magic was involved with the way that ball spun. But as you said, they've been able to capitalize, and that's been key for them, as they've been able to just continue their good run of form. And the Wasps, it will be Steph Welsh leading it off, and then behind him, Bones Hambley and Justin Woods, if the lineup holds. So we'll have to see. Middle of this order haven't quite been able to capitalize as well as they would have liked. Of course, heading into the start of this season, you really couldn't see a lot of weak spots in these lineups, a lot of quality talent throughout all of these teams. But, you know, with 4 teams, some teams got to lose, and ultimately for the Wasps, they're going to try and make sure they can stay in the conversation for the finals berth for the inaugural Super League season, but they're going to need to get those bats going.
Certainly with the inaugural draft and the way they played the first couple of weeks, going 2-0. There's even Steph Welch looking to lay one down. They looked like they would possibly be one of the teams to beat. Potent lineup, lots of power, but the last couple of weeks, things have unraveled a little bit, and it looks like it's even carrying over into this week. They just aren't getting the hits that the lineup looks like it should get, that now you've got players trying to do maybe things they shouldn't be doing when
pressure, and you'll have players who are trying to put everything on their shoulders and potentially force the issue. When, you know, teams, when they're going well, it just seems freeing and easy. You know, what they just play to their strengths, and they just continue to go from there. So at the moment, the Wasps, I guess, trying to find their identity almost in relation to the team they are so far in this Super League season, and at the moment, they've just haven't quite been able to get into situations where they've had the lead and had that comfort level, as they've always pretty much been chasing. As Welsh is going to hit this one hard, but it is going to be potentially playable in foul territory. Ranging over is Lee, but he can't grab it. So Welsh will get another opportunity at home plate.
In comparison, the Carp was a team that you look at them from the draft, they were built around being younger. That was part of the aspect of the Super League, was giving some of the younger players the opportunity to play at an even higher level than what the SABL is against each other. And they started off losing their first 2 games by 5-6 runs, but their last 2 games they've played like more, probably like a young team. Big swing and miss by Steph Welch. Tom Norley with a good curveball there for the first out of the inning. They've played more like the team that you need to win in these, where everybody's doing their little bits.
Well, Hambley's definitely been one of the more consistent hitters for the Wasps, as we've mentioned over the course of this broadcast. Did work the walk as the inaugural base runner in this game for them, so he'll look to continue that run of form and try and get on here. There is a nice pitch by Norley. Just gets it over for a strike, exactly what he's looking for, 0-1. And working quickly here on this 0-1 pitch. Going to be popped up and potentially playable. Clavel going to have to work with the wind. Almost gets down on one knee, but does take it quite comfortably for the second out. So a quick 2 outs for the Wasps, as they will again look to try and get something going with 2 out.
You see on the replay here, he finds it. First thing Mason Clavel does as a catcher, gets his back turn to the infield, as ball will traditionally want to find its way to center field. So catchers, get your back turned, get yourself under it, find it again. Went down to the knee, firmly made the catch under him for the second out.
As long as it goes in the glove, that's all that matters. Woods, so far in his first at-bat, flew out to center field. He got a nice little hit, but as I said, the wind just playing havoc as we get another look, thanks to Black Chrome and that second out. You've got to give
Good
credit
take
so
there by
far
the
for what the Carp have been able to do, at least pitching-wise. I mean, we've mentioned the talent level on all of these teams, but it's one thing to look at the lineup on paper and say, you know, where the strengths are, but so far they've done a good job at neutralizing this Wasps lineup, as Wood's going to take a big swing there and not quite making contact. 1-2 count.
Yeah, Tom Norley's doing a very good job. He's working on his 5th out. He's working on his final out, his 6th out here. He's filled up the strike zone very well tonight. With all 3 of his pitches, just blew a fastball up by Woods there. Going to follow it up with the changeup a little bit high there. Even the count 2-2.
So 2-2 count. As you mentioned, Norley almost through his 2 innings. Just got to get through one more batter here in Woods. A nice 2-2, but a nice hack also by Woods. Just to foul that off and stay alive for at least one more pitch in the at-bat.
Wasps are looking for anything right now to give him a little momentum, a little fire, something to go their way. Fastball up, 3-2.
Some nice discipline there. A full count, 2 out, bases clear. That payoff pitch stays alive again for one more pitch. So Woods doing a good job, not going to go down easy here. Behind him, you got Bell warming up in the on-deck circle if this inning is able to continue. Norley, one more time. 3-2, another one that's going to go foul. Woods definitely does not want to add a strikeout to his ledger, as he's looking just to continue to move along in this at-bat. I think we're up to about 7 or 8 pitches.
Yeah, that was the 8th pitch of this at-bat. His first at-bat was only 3 or 4 pitches, but he hit a hard ball to center field, so he's looking to continue having a good day. hoping for something to battle off and find a mistake. Harry breaks his bat, a ground ball over to third, up with it, over to first. Oh, and Wilson Lee can't scoop it out. Bad throw there from the third baseman, Liam Bull. And there's possibly the break that the Wasps need to get going.
Well,
and 2 out this inning, but 2 out parties are sometimes the best ones to start.
Oh yeah, and if you can capitalize on an opponent's mistake, even better. So as we go to a lefty-righty matchup here in Bell, the Wasps can get something here just to get on the board, put themselves again in that conversation. They are still only 3 runs down, but currently in the bottom of the 4th inning, past the hour mark of this game. Was the 2-hour time limit as well, so pretty much halfway through this game, and hence why the Wasps, while the time limit plays a factor, you don't want to get yourself into situations where you are pressing, but also, you know, you've got to manage your aggressiveness in these at-bats as well, and you feel like the Wasps have just not been able to capitalize on these sorts of situations.
Bell follows the ball off. Back our way, 1 and 2. We'll see if the Wasps get Woods moving here. He does have some stolen base opportunities. Stole 16 bases for Hettenston, the Storm. And with 2 out.
A jam shot towards third. It's going to be taken by Vanderlinden. Throw over. That one's a bit more accurate than the last, and that will retire the Wasps. So we are heading to the top of the 5th with the Carp still holding a 3-0 lead. We'll see if they can continue add on in the 5th. You're watching Super League. Rob Ushy and Fraser Fife will be back after the break.
Well, you know, there's something to do this weekend. Check out the local ball. Southern Districts traveling to play Adelaide. For Adelaide playing East Torrance. West Torrance is going out.
Black Chrome is the official partner of Super League Baseball Adelaide. Head to the Black Chrome website to view the new range of custom baseball apparel and see why so many teams are choosing to partner with Black Chrome.
She got 2 little horns and they give me a little bit.
Welcome back to Bennett Field. Currently in the top of the 5th inning. Matty Watkins still on the hill for the JSR Plumbing Wasps, as they will look to try and keep it a 3-0 deficit. But the Carp, they've been slowly moving further and further away, at least momentum-wise, as it will be currently Angus Rozier, then Wilson Lee and Mason Clavel due up. So the 4-5-6 middle part of this lineup, which has done a lot of damage. As you also get a look there at the Wojtek pitch clock, 42 minutes remaining. That is, just to let you know, our game clock, not necessarily what the umpires are going off, so use that as a reference only, but gives you a rough idea of where we're at this point. The first pitch by Watkins to Rozier will be down low, 1-0 count.
I think it's Rozier RBI single, his first at bat in the first inning, ripped a line drive into left field. Second time, tried to bunt his way on, ended up popping up to the catcher. See what he has in store here. Watkins with a good fastball in the outside corner. Get ahead 1 and 2 on the.
Because probably the big storyline for Angus Rozier has been the progress of the facial hair and what's happening with that, but he's just going to keep adding on, as that's going to be grounded and lined into left field for the leadoff single. So while he's lost the facial hair, he hasn't lost the power, as he gets on another base running opportunity for the Carp early on. Rozier, second time on base, and again for the Wasps, they're going to have to work from the stretch against the middle of this lineup.
Yeah, we're in the 5th inning of the game here. We're moving along pretty quick. This is the 4th inning out of 5 that the Carp have had base runners. They do have the 3-0 lead. They could have a bigger one if they do allow the Wasps to get back into this. It might be Wilson Lee looking to play a little small ball here as well. So Carp are looking to play small ball as a team. Saw Rozier trying to bunt earlier. Wilson Lee here now trying to bunt. Those are the 4 or 5 hitters in their lineup. Curtis Mead had a bunt single. He was a 3-hole hitter. So maybe it's the conditions that they're trying to take advantage of, that small ball's the only way to win tonight.
Yeah, well, they're showing it again. Lee can't quite get the bunt down, but it does force the infield to respect the bunt. And it just means with, again, this middle part of the lineup, which does have some pop to work with, if you're forcing them to cheat in a bit to get that ball, it can just mean if you can get a hard hit ball past the infield, add another base runner on. But at least for right now, with 2 strikes, Lee will go back to swinging away. And he will swing through that one. Strikeout for the Carp, 1 out. As now it will be Mason Clavel stepping in to potentially, whether he shows bunt or swings away, we'll just have to wait and see.
Great curveball by Matty Watkins. 0-2. Started high, dipped low, below the zone. Had Wilson Lee swinging right through it for strikeout. Here, I guess Mason Clavel is swinging a changeup on the outside, and he's ahead 0-1 again.
Now, so far for Clavel, has struck out twice, but also does have a single. So he's at least been able to get on base, and he was one of the fortunate players who was able to get on with pretty much what was an infield single to first base. So we'll see if he's able to continue his good fortune here. 0-2 with Rozier at first. There's that nice breaking pitch from Watkins. This one doesn't quite work as well as what it did on Wilson Lee, but again, you just see that snap from that curveball. That's a pitch you've got to look out for.
Yeah, it's what he was missing a couple weeks ago when he gave up a few runs and it's more the fatigue. He had pitched 2 days before. He had thrown 90 to 100 pitches. There's a drive Clavel fouled back that he didn't have the snap. And the curveball just stayed high, and he ended up walking 3 or 4 batters that game, gave up a couple hits. Whereas other performances have looked very much like tonight, where he's back to the grand final performance, MVP type caliber, and that curveball's breaking hard. And then there's that good fastball, ground ball, quick feet double play. Great job from the middle infielders of the Wasps to get themselves out of the inning.
Well, that just shows when you got a good pitcher who's able to really make the hitters off balance. And again, middle of the lineup with the Carp, they've done some damage. So for Watkins to neutralize them and to not let them get any runs on the board, definitely important as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah, great turn by James Bell and Mitch Lightbody. 4-6-3, very fast. Got themselves turned. And now we go to the bottom of the 5th. Wasps are starting to get to the point where it is almost mandatory to get some runs. Only got a couple cracks left. The clock is clicking down. We're under 40 minutes.
Well, it's going to be Suzuki, Travis, and Mitch Lightbody, the 8-9-1 duo. So for them, Suzuki with a fly out to with a pop fly to shortstop. Then you got Travis, who was able to get on base and was able to steal second base, and then you've got Lightbody behind him, who is currently 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts to right. So
we have another Wojtek call to the bullpen. Going to go to another left-handed pitcher tonight. Ryan Duncan started in center field, and now he's going to be coming in to pitch. Possesses a slider, changeup, and a fastball. Throws a little bit funky. Throws from the first base side and then across his body as a lefty.
Considering for the Carp, we've had Lapiano, we've had Marshall, Norley, and now Duncan come in. So far, their pitching has been very, very good. So, I mean, on the outside things, you've had Brebner Russ, who started off very well for the Wasps and was able to keep him in the conversation. But ultimately, if you've only got 1 hit on the board for them, and as we mentioned, they've only been able to get a couple more base runners on beyond that via the walk, it just makes it so much harder to keep yourselves in these sorts of games, especially as we are in the bottom of the 5th. 7 innings or 2 hours, we're getting pretty quickly through these innings.
Confidence growing more and more with the young players of the Carp. The pitching staff the last number of weeks has done an amazing job, and tonight, no different. 1 walk, the only hit they've given up was basically another infield single. Taylor Travis ripped one down first, but Wilson Lee was able to dive, smother the ball. He just couldn't quite get up and make the throw because of Travis' speed. So you're really looking at an infield single and 1 walk through 4 innings. It's a great job from 4 pitchers.
Yeah. So Sachiro Suzuki will step in to begin this inning, as we mentioned. And a bit of a pop-up to shortstop to start, and was definitely aggressive in his approach with some big swings through, but we'll see if he changes his approach here. Here's Duncan with the 1-0 pitch. Working from the nice wind-up. Pitch is just going to be outside as well, so just missing high on that one. A nice job by Suzuki to lay off.
It has been the only flaw in Duncan's pitching the last couple of years here in the SABL for East Torrens, as he does get a little bit wild sometimes. Doesn't get hit around a lot, but when he does get wild, he puts base runners on. And there's another one that's not really even a competitive pitch there. It's up to 3-0. That's where it does get to hurt him a little bit. You're going to have to focus in a little bit, find the strike zone again.
So here is that 3-0 pitch, searching for the first strike of the at-bat. Suzuki love to get on first base to get him started, and first pitch for a strike for Duncan so far in his appearance. So Suzuki still in the driver's seat here. Let's see what he's able to do against this Carp pitching stuff, which has been very, very solid. And Duncan gets the second strike, important there, payoff pitch right here. And Suzuki going to be forced to swing, hasn't really had to take the bat off his shoulders so far.
Looked like he was in full take mode a couple pitches there.
3-2, there's the swing and the miss. So Suzuki goes down, Duncan gets a strikeout, and 1 out for the Wasps.
Great job by Duncan to come back. Fell behind 3-0 on 3 pitches that were really nowhere close to the strike zone. Came back, got 2 on the outside corner fastballs, and then just blew one right by the young ram out of Henley and Grange.
Well, Travis coming in, as you mentioned, to begin this ball game, .083 average, but he has got a hit tonight, so if he can get a couple more, raise that average a little bit high. Get it going as he shows bunt and pulls it back for a ball. 1-0 count.
Hey, infield single and a stolen base already tonight. You do have to respect the speed. You see the third baseman is in on the grass. He has tried a couple bunt attempts over the weeks here for the Wasps. He drives the ball to left field, but that one's going to carry well past the Carp bullpen, a foul.
So 0-1 count. Duncan, as you mentioned, with some good velocity, but can occasionally get wild so far. Throwing some good pitches. Going to throw a nice breaking pitch, and Travis showing bunt, but can't quite get it down successfully. So 2-strike approach from Travis here in the 9-hole. Then, as we mentioned, light body behind him in the on-deck circle. Then goes to McGarry Gallagher. One batter at a time for the Wasps right now, chasing that 3-0 deficit. Breaking pitch, and a nice one from Duncan there.
A good pitch from Duncan. He really hasn't come in a lot. He's basically been away all night long so far since he's been out there. And that one probably caught Travers a little off guard, but it was just a bit inside. And go back outside here on a 2-2. Misses low to look for a full count.
Well, he did go back outside, just looking for that bottom part of the zone. Couldn't quite find it. Full count. Potential here for the Wasps to get a base runner on if they can last one more pitch against Duncan. Chopper towards second. Mead ranging for it. Throw over to first. Will be in time on a bang-bang play at first. There's Travis just showing that speed down the first base line. This time, not quite as fortunate.
A good play by Curtis Mead there. He knew the speed of the runner. He knew he had to hurry. But with the high hop, was able to go up, got rid of it quickly, and got him by half a step at first base. Go to the back to the top of the order. Mitch Lightbody tonight. He's got 2 fly balls to right field, both caught by right fielder Blake Farr. And he's got an opportunity for a third one. This one's pretty much right at him, drifts him back about 5 feet, puts it away for the final out of the inning.
Well, a relatively quick inning for the Wasps, as we mentioned, still searching for their first run of the ball game. We're heading to the top of the sixth. Carp in the driver's seat at the moment. We're going to go to a break. You're watching the Super League.
Black Chrome is the official partner of Super League Baseball Adelaide. Head to the Black Chrome website to view the new range of custom baseball apparel and see why so many teams are choosing to partner with Black Chrome.
She got two little horns and they give me a little
SA Power Networks are proud to sponsor the Adelaide Bite and baseball in South Australia for another season. SA Power Networks are strong corporate citizens with a real connection to local baseball communities through various groups, sports, organisations and community clubs. Please get involved and thank SA Power Networks for their continued support, the longest running sponsor in SA baseball. And speaking of the Adelaide Bite, as we mentioned at the start of the broadcast, the Super League All-Stars versus the Adelaide Bite on Saturday night here at the ballpark. 7:20 is the first pitch, I believe. Information, of course, available on the Super League Baseball Facebook page and also on the Adelaide Bite website. So if you want to come down and see an early sneak peek at what the Adelaide Bite will be offering this season, come on down to the ballpark.
It's always a great game. I've been involved in the last couple as a coach for kind of the SABL side of it, and it's a game that the players there take seriously. They want to take it to the Adelaide Bite players. A lot of them are. You got a lot of players who know each other, friends with each other, and it's always fun to get bragging rights in that situation. But as you see on the Wojtek clock there, we do have 28.5 minutes, we'll say, 28, 36, 35 seconds, and we do have another Wojtek call to the bullpen. Justin Woods, the American from Waynesville, North Carolina, takes over, comes in from left field, taking over on the mound. And it looks like it's Dennis Christensen going out to left field in his spot.
Let's see what Justin Woods can do on the pitching side of things. As we mentioned when he first came up to bat, has been very solid on both sides of the ball. The first pitch is going to be a ball, a 1-0 count.
Yeah, he was basically a closer for the Bulldogs, UNC Asheville, in college. It was a good fastball right on the outside corner. He only threw 22 in the third innings. He was 3 and 4, 5 saves, 3.22 ERA, strikeout per inning guy as well. There's a big swing from far. But then in Germany, he was 3 and 1 with a 1.82 in 30 innings with 7 walks only and 38 strikeouts. Second league, the Hettington Storm. Far with swing and miss. McGarry's trying to find it. Over to first. Oh.
Ooh, called out.
Like it was almost a quick change of mind calling him out on that. So it's a strikeout with a 2-3 putout. Here we'll see on the replay, big swing and miss. McGarry finds it, composes, good throw to Gallagher, who keeps his foot on.
Just pops the foot off at the right time.
Another young player for the Carp, Liam Bull, getting another start from the Henley and Grange round. 2 for 2 tonight. 2 little line drive singles into right field. Last one was an RBI single.
Yeah, Liam Bull been a quiet contributor so far. Been stationed at third base for the Carp in this game, and as you mentioned, has got a couple of nice little hits to continue along. So has had himself quite a night. And so far for Woods, working with a 1-2 count. Got some pitches to work with as well. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Nice break to it, but some nice discipline there from Bull just to lay off and make it even at a 2-2 count. And hits this one right back up the middle. Light body, a couple of steps over. Throw to first will be in time. 6-3 ground out, and a quick 2 out for the Carp. At least for right now, Ben Keeping will be stepping in as the number 9 hitter, so he will look to try and get something going with 2 out, and so far for him, he has struck out and a fly out to left field.
Another one who got probably bitten by the wind tonight. Last one he hit to left field was pretty well hit deep, but wind knocked it down and turned into a routine fly ball.
You really feel like for teams who start in the 8:30 time slot, if they were playing at 6 when they first started, maybe those balls go out. But only once it gets later on in the night and the wind picks up even further, you get cheated over a couple of hits here and there.
Yeah, the wind picks up, it blows a little bit in. Weather drops a little. It's only about 13 degrees out here, or 55. There's another fly ball popped into right. Wind's going to take that a bit. Cichero coming in, diving attempt for that one. And it's going to be a 2-out single for Ben Keeping. Again, the wind playing havoc with the outfielders tonight.
Well, Suzuki 10 for the dive, 7 for the landing. Can't quite get the catch. You get another look at it here. He has got a lot of hustle, but has not quite been the winner of those 2 engagements that he's had out there in right field. So he'll have to continue to try it as the Carp do get that base runner on. And now Patrick Inglis stepping in as the lineup is going to turn back over.
Good fastball in the inner half of the plate. Woods to get ahead, strike 1. Definitely been filling up the zone. Shows that he doesn't walk a lot of batters. That one misses just a little bit further inside, even the count 1-1. We'll see if Keeping looks to grab a bag here with 2 outs, top of the order up. It's a good time to put a batter in motion as you start back with your leadoff hitter leading off next inning if he gets thrown out.
Well, a solid strategy. A small ball has definitely been the order of the day for the Carp's success. We're currently now working with a 1-2 count, 2 out runner at first. As Wood so far in his pitching appearance has done quite well, and 1 strike away from potentially getting out of the inning. And Inglis doing a good job just to make enough contact to keep it interesting for 1 more pitch.
Like a little bit more of a slurve type pitch there in between a slider and a curveball.
Well, definitely caught Inglis off balance, but as mentioned, some good back control just to make enough contact, and now he can reset here and get another opportunity. He comes in with the hard stuff. 2-2 count. As you can see, the pitching clock slowly winding down. Just under 22.5 minutes remaining in this ball game. But no new innings after an hour 50. Of course, after the hour 40 mark, if the game was tied, international speed-up rules come into effect, but we're not at that point yet unless the Wasps can get something going offensively. But they have just struggled so far, not just in this game, in this season, as there is the runner going off. A bad bounce for Steph Welsh. It's going to go into left field. There's going to be a misplay in left, so it just means the runner in Keepers is going to go all the way around to home from first. In this case, Inglis is going to go all the way to third and slide in. So a crucial mistake there, and some bad luck for the Wasps has led to another run scoring for the Carp as they now make it a 4-0 lead as we get another look on the replay. And with Dennis Christensen coming in left field, just the misplay out there, allowing the base runners to just continue to move around the bases. Thank you very much. They'll take it and they'll move on.
Now, Steph Welch got a bad hop there at third base. Tried to wear it off his chest to at least knock it down. Got to the outfield, but Christensen, we've seen him in the outfield here in the Super League, but he is more of an infielder. Here's the first pitch to Vanderlinden, and he falls straight back. Then tried to backhand the ball instead of taking another step to his right to get around it. Ended up missing it. 2-base error, run scores, and now your team's down 4-0.
And if the Carp can keep it going, they could potentially add one more, but you just feel like the Carp have not had a whole lot of luck, and that's another opportunity there, and the Carp get the run across. Make it 5-0.
We can almost feel the same pattern that the Wasps had last week. One inning, a couple things didn't go their way, and it started unraveling. And we've seen it here. One error there, and things have started unraveling. Wild pitch. Now a hit batter, and now we got more runners on base to 2 out. And Curtis Mead, the possibly hottest hitter on the planet right now, coming up to bat for the Carp.
Yep, so far in this game, he's already got a hit, he's got a walk, and a line out to right. But if you haven't already heard, and I know we keep going on about it, but when you're hitting 714, we'll talk about it just a little bit more than usual. So definitely one of the hottest hitters right now. I mean, the hottest hitter in the Super League. The first pitch will miss inside, 1-0 count. Yeah, the Wasps just have not had any luck with their, not just their games, their schedule so far in the Super League. So we'll see if they can start turning things around, but we are, as you can see, bottom of, so the top of the 6th inning. 2-0 count, runner on in Van der Linden, who reached on the hit by pitch. For Woods right now, after looking pretty good to start off with, just starting to miss his location. Ooh, and another one that's inside, and this one is going to hit Mead. Not quite as well as it hit Van der Linden, but he'll take the base regardless. And Woods just starting to unravel a little bit on the hill, is going to have to go about sorting himself out. It just shows when one thing goes wrong, it can tend to compound itself, and right now for the Wasps, they need something to go their way, and it's just not happening.
Yeah, we saw it last inning. Wasps got on base on a 2-out error and couldn't make anything happen. Here the Carp. 2-out base runner, quality single, and then kind of a bloop single that the wind took care of. Another hit that ended up being booted around in the outfield. Run scored, and now we got a couple runners on base by hit by pitches. So it's unraveling fast right now.
And then you got Rozier, who's currently 2 for 3. Who's stepping in, and then behind him you've got Lee, who's also 1 for 3. Clavel behind him, who's 1 for 4.
Looks like the coaching staff of the JSR Plumbing Wasps do have action in the bullpen. Hoping that Woods can get out of this. 2-1 pitch. Roger just gets pizza, chops it foul, even the count 2-2.
Currently Nathan Van der Linden at second base, Curtis Mead at first. Both of them going to have some sores to work with tonight. An even count. 2-2-2. 2 on. And that pitch nicely blocked by McGarry in the dirt. We've already seen one go past, which has led to a Carp run. Bases loaded, runners will be off with 2 out. Right, runners at first and second, I should say. I'm getting ahead of myself.
They will be running with the count with it 3-2 with 2 outs. So something in the gap could score both.
There are the runners, and there's the pitch down low. So now the bases are loaded. Rozier will end up at first base, and Van der Linden now at third, and Curtis Mead at second. So looks like the coaching staff is going to come out, and that could potentially be all for Justin Woods. We'll just have to wait and see.
It looks like Manager Chenoweth has made another Wojtek call to the bullpen. Unfortunately for Woods, couldn't quite get out of the inning. Kind of bad hop, started the inning, and then things kind of fell apart from there. He lost kind of a little bit of control. Wild pitch, hit a couple batters, walked a guy.
We think also before the bad hop happening, I mean, not that it was Suzuki's fault, but that ball just out of reach of his glove, which would have led to that third out. So it just shows everything can have a knock-on effect, and this is a game that is a matter of inches. And ultimately, the Carp have really been able to capitalize on those breaks that they've had. So now for the Wasps, they're just going to have to try and regroup and get something going. But the clock is going down, the score is going up, the exact opposite of what they want.
That's the other part that that hurts the Wasps right now is they're battling the clock, because we do have in Super League the 2-hour playing limit, and they were on pace to get their last 2 at bats. Tried to come back, and they were only down 3 runs, which is, in baseball, it's an inning. It's not hard to get 3 runs in an inning. And now they're battling the clock that because they just can't get out of this inning. But they may only get 1 more at bat.
Yeah, if the Carp continue the way they're going, then this game could end at the bottom of 6. So we'll just have to see if the Wasps can really battle the clock and also the scoreboard. But they're going to try a pitching change here to change their fortunes.
Yeah, we do get another Super League first, a debut for William Burke on the mound. I believe he was in a pinch run for a catcher at one point, but right now he's getting the first chance in Super League on the mound. And welcome to the league, kid. Bases are loaded. We need an out.
Oh, he'll get himself in good graces if he can get his way out of this inning.
He's facing one of the better hitters of the SABL, Wilson Lee. He's got 3 or 4 home runs in the local play, so he's definitely a man who can put a little charge into the baseball here.
Oh, a hard hit ball.
Is
that called
That's fair down right field line.
1 run is going to score, 2 run is going to score. Wilson Lee's going to end up at second. They add 2 more runs. That was a ball that was inches inside the first base line. As they add those 2 more runs, now make it 7-0. And for Burke, well, he came into a trial by fire and just couldn't quite capitalize there. The Carp keep on rolling. Not much more we can really say at this point other than you got to tip your cap to the Carp, and they've got to move on.
Yeah, the Carp this inning took advantage of one mistake, really. It's you can't blame the outfielder for the win. That he made a valiant effort trying to catch that one. But most of the balls in play, they've put them there. And
so now Mason Clavel, as we mentioned, currently 1 for 4 in this game. An opportunity to potentially add even more runs.
young man behind 2 in the count just needs to regroup, find himself a strike to get himself recomposed. It's a good fastball right on the outside corner. Get strike 1, and then it's 2-1.
As we mentioned at the start of this broadcast, both these teams were sitting at 2-2 on the season, heading into week 5, and the Carp were holding the difference thanks to run differential at +2, and the Wasps was at -4. They're just going to add a few more to that tally, and they take this one, which is looking likely here with a 7-0 lead in the top of the 6th, and almost 11 minutes remaining as Clavel will go down swinging. So the Wasps do get out of it, but you just feel like the energy has been sucked out of this team. They just need to get something going, and there's only so many times we can say that and so many opportunities for them to be able to do it, but something needs to change for them as they've still only got 1 hit on the board.
Yeah, Super League, we're halfway through. We're at the midpoint. Wasps started the season 2-0, a couple dramatic victories. They've lost their last 2. They're 2-2, and in each of those games, it's been 1 inning in which they've unraveled. They haven't been able to keep their feet under them, and it fell apart. Now we're in the 5th week, the halfway point. They were down only a couple of runs until, again, 1 inning, and they unraveled. But again, another week of only having 1 hit on the board for for a powerful lineup as the Wasps probably isn't really acceptable. And Coach Chenoweth is going to have to look for something from his leaders to turn around next week. Still lots of time left. They got to looking to get back to 500 next week. If they don't have a comeback in them here today.
That's ultimately one positive thing about the Super League having a limited amount of teams, is you can really start making some difference. If you get on a hot streak and start putting some wins together and getting that run differential up, then we could be talking an entirely different story towards the end of the season. But again, every game's going to count towards the ladder, and for right now, the Wasps currently, if they do lose this game, would fall to 2-3 on the season. Only Clippers behind them, but they've added a point thanks to the draw tonight against the Denmark Crushers. So ultimately, they've added something to their tally.
Yeah, with the draw, the Clippers didn't get a win, so they'll still definitely be ahead of them. And one of the aspects of the Super League, being 4 teams, team that finishes first gets a bye to the grand final. Team second and third play for the right to play in the grand final, and the 4th place team is eliminated. So even with a loss today, if they can't mount a comeback here, then they're still sitting third. They're still sitting in the playoff race, and with the quality of players on their team, they can put up crooked numbers every inning they can.
So this is the opportunity for the Wasps as we are past that 10-minute mark. So no new innings for the Wasps. This is the opportunity. They've got to put it on 7 runs to tie, 8 to win.
Duncan misses badly wide. He's started this inning 2-0. McGarry looking maybe for a walk to start that big rally.
Yeah, I mean, this is the opportunity, as I mentioned, McGarry, Gallagher, and Welch, the 2-3-4 due up, and McGarry has been probably one of the better hitters so far for the Wasps, and has been doing quite well behind the plate as well. So, I mean, this is the guy you want up to be able to get a rally started, but they're going to need a lot more contributions throughout the rest of this lineup. Meanwhile, 4 straight pitches, 4 straight balls, and a base runner for the Wasps. So they do get something started here in the bottom of the 6th.
All you ever want is a little bit of life and an opportunity. A base runner is that possibility. I know they need 7, but it is baseball, and there is the time limit. But this inning is going to get played. They have to get 3 outs. And there's an opportunity to score 7 runs before 3 outs happen.
Well, we've seen crazier things in baseball, but definitely the odds are stacked against them right now. And that pitch by Duncan going to be high and outside, 1-0 count. It's Duncan taking his time. It's a nice pitch there and called the strike, evens it up at a 1-1 count. Gallagher so far is currently 0 for 2. Had a 6-3 granite and a pop out to shortstop. An opposite field hit towards left, ranging back is keeping. Wind is going to keep it suppressed, and the runner going to have to retreat back to first base. So a solid hit there, but as we've seen all throughout tonight, power is not playing.
Yeah, no, the wind knocked that one down. That one looked like it had a little bit enough giddy up to get over that fence. But everything that going to the outfield, the wind is just picking it up, swirling it around, throwing it right back at the players on the field.
I do not envy the outfielders tonight. Steph Welsh, currently for him, fly out to center field, then a strikeout in his 2 at-bats. As I mentioned, coming into this game, hitting 100. Was getting on base at a decent clip at 308. A 1-0 pitch from Duncan. Look over towards first and taking his time now from the stretch. Again, just going to miss the zone and just hasn't quite found that outside corner, which he's been looking for a lot so far in this appearance.
Yeah, it's the way, it's kind of the motion that he's using. He throws across his body from from the left side of the plate. So when you're throwing across, you have a hard time hitting that outside corner sometimes as a left-handed pitcher. That time he gets it. Get the count to 2-1.
A 2-1 count. Runner at first. Not going to take a huge lead there, but Duncan does get the strike, which is important. Evens it up at a 2-2 count behind Welch. Bones Hambley. And that one's going to get away from Clavel. It just allows the runner to move up. Double play taken out of possibility. That does mean a 3-2 count for Steph Welsh. So unfortunate there for Duncan not to be able to find the zone and let that base runner just move up 90 feet. Payoff pitch. And looking for that outside corner again, isn't going to find it. Welsh gets the walk. So another base runner for the Wasps here as they look to try and make some form of dent in that scoreline. Under the 5-minute mark, thanks to the Wojtek pitch clock.
You're going to see a little activity in the Carp bullpen, as in the Super League, pitchers do get 6 out, but they also do only have 40 pitches. And with this being Duncan's second inning of work, he's throwing a lot of pitches this inning. Hambley takes strike 1 right down the middle.
Now with 2 base runners on it. Hambley hits this one towards left, but again, just going to be taken by the left fielder after a couple of steps towards the infield, and that will be 2 out for the Wasps here in this ball game. They unfortunately they've hit the ball hard, they've hit it in the air, but as we've mentioned many times tonight, the one thing the Carp have been really good at doing is keeping that ball down and really getting past the infield. And that's really been their key to success in playing small ball. The Wasps just have not quite been able to adjust to that approach.
Tonight was not the night to try to hit home runs. The wind was going to make sure that didn't happen. So the small ball was certainly the way to go, and the Carp showed why they're up 7-0.
A bit of a flare shot towards right, but it will go out of the field of play. So for Gallagher, currently working with an 0-1 count. And
we have Dennis Christensen up for his first at bat. He went in last inning to the outfield when Woods came to the mound.
Gets me every time. So for Christensen, who did come in, as you said, as a defensive replacement in left, getting his first action. So 2 runners on for the Wasps. Currently down 7-0.
Got to string a few together here.
Going to foul this one back, and had some decent carry underneath it, but just went in the opposite direction.
And with the time going down 7-0, this Wasps are down to their final strike of the night. Christensen's going to have to do something to stay alive to keep their hopes going.
0-2 count. 2 strikes, 2 on. Ball that is going to go foul. Looking towards next week, which is round 6, 6 p.m. game, Crushers and Wasps. And Rob, you will be doing that game along with Phil Hurton. Of course, I'll be joining you for the Carp versus the Clippers. So a bit of a preview towards next week, as we do have some solid games on tap as we'll continue the Super League season. Meanwhile, Christensen will go down with the strikeout. And we'll have to see what the umpires are doing, having a bit of a discussion. Of course, as we mentioned, the clock that we have is only used for reference purposes, and it looks like they have called the game. So Yeah, the umpires have called it. We've got confirmation, and that is going to be the final scoreline, with the Carp beating the Wasps 7-0.
Black Crow.
So these two teams, it really was a tale of two teams. The Carp, a modicum of success tonight. The Wasps just not really able to get anything together. Hard luck losers in this one. Had a lot of things that did not go their way, but as they look to rebound from having a rough stretch of a couple of games now, they've just got to think about how they're going to approach the rest of this season.
Yeah, we got two different teams trending in opposite directions. Carp that started 0-2, won 3 in a row, and could be the hottest team in the Super League right now. Wasps started 2-0, have lost 3 straight, and could be the coldest team in the Super League. Next week they're going to be looking to change their fortunes a little bit, get back in the winning column. But the Carp are going to want to keep running as best they can and try to grab first place away from the Crushers next week.
I mean, ultimately for the Wasps going against the Crushers next week, that is a very tough assignment. So they're going to have to try and get something going. And for the Carp, of course, they can continue their hot streak against the Clippers. So they've got a good fortune going on ahead. But now that we're past the midway point of the season, heading towards week 6, we've got a good sort of idea of where these teams sit so far in this Super League season, but a lot of things can change as we get a look at both teams having their post-game huddle. Ultimately, with that is going to be it from us in the broadcast booth. Rob, I would like to thank you for joining us for both games and providing your expert insight each and every week.
Just waiting for some warmer weather next week.
They're going to have to bring more and more warm clothes as we go throughout this season. From the crew of Spacequake Sports, I'd like to give a huge thank you for watching this game. We hope to see you next week. For those who are joining us each and every week, my name has been Fraser Fife. I hope you've enjoyed this broadcast. From everyone at Spacequake Sports, Baseball South Australia, Adelaide Bike crew, everyone, we wish you a good night.